Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories. Add your tales. Let's get into this thing. And welcome back, episode 96 of the Skyrim Addict podcast.
All right. Getting up there.
Yeah, we're ticking them off. Have Victor.
Howdy.
And Colin with me this week.
Evening, afternoon.
What is it here? It's afternoon. Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like evening because I woke up at like 5, so it feels like evening anyway. Couple quick announcements. There's a new show Jeremy's doing, My Journey with Cystic Fibrosis. It is like a personal journal, essentially, of what he goes through, how he deals with it, things like that. So that's something quite different than we normally do. It's very personal, and he keeps it real on there. So if you want to check that out, it's all the links are over at the website, asapodcasting.com. And soon there will be Fallout Feed shirts and some Skyrim shirts, probably in end of July once I get back from a couple of vacations. So look for those then. I gave away a couple this week, and then I'm making some for everybody here. And then I'll probably do them through Etsy or something like that. Make it simple. So keep an eye out for that stuff. Will be in now. That'll be the easiest way probably for me to do it. So, but other than that, yep, Skyrimming. But so we haven't really, three of us haven't really talked about the E3 stuff with the remaster and all that. So I guess we can get into that a little bit since we haven't really touched on that.
Yeah, let's.
So, I guess most importantly, modding. How's it? Since we're a little further into it now, and people have had a little more time to think about it. In the beginning, it was kind of like, nah, it shouldn't really affect anything. Now it seems like maybe it's going to have a little more effect than people were speculating in the first couple days, anyway.
Yeah, there's been a lot of up and down, a lot of not hysteria, but a lot of worry and chest beating about it. But I think some things, are definitely clearer now than they were at the very beginning. I would say for anybody who's interested there are several, good and even-tempered YouTube videos, particularly by the ever famous and excellent Gopher, who's tried to explain things as best he can with, the honestly limited knowledge that everybody has. But it looks like that there will be some mods won't be that hard to port over, and some could be nigh unto impossible. And one of the worst, depending on your perspective anyway, possible casualties might be Sky UI.
Yeah, I had seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just hearsay. It's based on I posted something about it just based on comments I'd heard. I think one of them was on Gopher's latest video, and a couple of other places I saw that the authors of Sky UI don't really have a whole lot of interest in working on it anymore. So, because the new engine's going to require an upgrade of the script extender, the SKSE.
Oh yeah.
And thereby any mods that use the script extender, which is lots of them, then Sky UI may or may not get upgraded. Now, that's not to say that with the author's permission, somebody else might not come along and
pick that up. Yeah.
But like we mentioned on the Game Talk, there's those guys like Chesko out there, who's the author of Frostfall. A lot of the mods that sorry, I shut off Facebook there. A lot of the mods that use SKSE can be modified to not have to use SKSE.
For instance,
okay. In like that thread that I posted, Frostfall's older version 2.6 did a lot of things that didn't need the mod configuration menu that SKSE provides, and some of the other things. And there's ways around it. There are plenty of older mods that did not use SKSE but still had lots of functionality. So all that's possible. I don't think it's going to be. It's not a giant disaster by any means, but it may take a while. Of course, we have plenty of time because I don't think we're going to see Elder Scrolls 6 until about 2019.
Yeah,
if you can believe Todd Howard there. So
I definitely pushed back my predictions of. I'm thinking 2018 at the earliest.
Right. That might be 2018. Might be the announcement. Yeah, you might be right. Like they announced it at E3, and it'll be ready that fall.
Yeah. That's my hopeful prediction. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how likely that is, even from the way he made it sound. But he could also be making it sound that way just because,
That's true. I hadn't really thought of that.
To get people off his back.
Not always perfectly honest.
There's always that angle as well.
Yeah, I mean, he did say, it's going to be a long time, but and he was very candid. I mean, in some of those things. Even addressing the issue of the voiced protagonist.
Where they said that it didn't quite turn out how they had planned it.
Yeah, well, I think what he said was, some things were successful, and then he went through a few things, and some things weren't, like dialogue. It was sort of a slightly oblique reference, but everybody knows what he meant.
Yeah. Like, I didn't hate the, not to get too deep into Fallout 4, but I didn't hate the dialogue, but I certainly see where the issues come in with it when you're trying to play different characters. It really creates an issue.
And I think the comment is pertinent to Elder Scrolls, because if they feel it wasn't successful, then they're not going to do it.
They're not going to, yeah, especially in an Elder Scrolls game where role playing is so essential, I think.
Yeah. But I don't have a version of anything on the console to try the mods with, so I have no experience with how they work, even with the current version of Skyrim. You guys both have, right?
What's that? The consoles?
The console mods on like Fallout. So
I've played around with them a little bit.
Or Colin, you don't have it on the console, do you?
I do. I own Fallout 4. I haven't played any of it though.
Oh, okay. That's right. It came with your package. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know how it's how well it's going to work with Skyrim when that pops up, but
the ones I used were pretty seamless. They were pretty basic ones though, nothing too taxing or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have really any issue loading them, and as long as you read and see how you should have, I think you can still do a load order, correct, with the consoles, I believe.
So you can change the order as
there's some kind of menu where I didn't play with it a lot on the consoles because I really only did a few mods, but I believe there's a thing where you can change the load order as well. So that matters too, obviously. But yeah, I haven't really heard any other issues with it either from people who are using it more.
Out a lot there.
Oh, am I again? Wow, nobody's using the internet now, and I'm cutting out. Jeez, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, sorry. I wasn't going to say anything, but then it kept going. So.
Did it? No. That's fine. What to do here? That's weird.
Yeah, it's in and out. So,
well, you guys are coming through clear. So if I skip out, just let me know.
Vamp?
Yeah. Because everything's coming clear on this end. There's some kind of issue from me over here.
Yeah. Hey, Juan.
Juan's here?
Yeah. He must have just popped.
What's going on?
Hey.
How's it going? We assumed you were drinking beer. We figured.
No, I was on ESO this morning.
Oh, nice.
So how did the have the changes hit for ESO for you guys that are playing?
Yeah, we it was I believe the 14th of this month. They did the big update with the Dark Brotherhood DLC that came out. So it's a little bit better, I think. There's still some coding issues where you get a little bit of lag and glitches and stuff, but it's bound to happen. Hopefully they'll fix it soon and we can all be happy again.
Yeah, I've sent in a few reports of incompletable missions,
Oh, okay.
and they send me every time you send one of those in, they send an email back. And each time I've sent one in, go, yes, we're aware of that this quest, people are having an issue. We're looking to it. We'll get back to it.
At least they're working on it.
Yeah, it's happened twice so far where I can't complete a quest.
Are these Dark Brotherhood quests or?
Oh no, the normal game quests.
No, yeah.
Something to do with the quest markers. Because there's certain things where you have to place. So it's one of the quests. I have to place something in a certain area, and it won't give me the activation, so I can activate and put it down where it's supposed to go. And then the other one, I'm supposed to activate these cobwebs to cut this guy out of all these cobwebs, but it won't activate. It won't let me cut them down. So
Arvel the Swift?
Yeah, Arvel. I was going to say Arvel the Swift.
It was very reminiscent.
Very reminiscent.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
He is in Skyrim, I think. So.
Oh, okay. So it's just a little nod to, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, has that one Tamriel thing started yet, or?
No, that's for the fall, I believe.
That's for the fall when they're going to make that change.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about that?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, to me, I was just wondering. I was saying to one, if that's the point, if everybody can play with everybody, no matter, because in Hrothgar you can go in there at level 2 or level 10. I don't know whether they lock it out till level 10.
No,
but,
what's his name went in at like level 5.
Yeah.
Keith went in at level 5 once.
Yeah. So you can go in at level 5, or you can go in at what used to be veteran 16, and sort of like, that was after hundreds and hundreds of hours that you've leveled up to veteran, and you can all go into this one place called Hrothgar, which is one of the DLCs, and everybody can play with everybody else. My complaint with that was when you get people who are just joining the game and running through and just being complete dicks because they're all kids and sort of like, they're just messing around. They interfere with people who are trying to enjoy the game and sort of like play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And then you get all these guys who are just running around being really annoying and snaking your nodes when you're trying to harvest stuff. Sometimes there'll be an enemy standing over like that piece of wood that you want to harvest, so you have to kill the enemy. So while you're killing the enemy, they run in behind you and harvest the node.
Oh,
so that's slightly annoying. And they're planning to do this to the entire game, where everybody can play with everybody. Which is fun, which could be a lot of fun. The only thing with it is, what would be the point in leveling?
Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, does that kind of kill that?
I think the only real point to leveling at that point would be just the type of armor that you can get, because as you get higher level armor, you get more damage, and the biggest thing is just the champion points and the way you set up your own champion points. Because I've gone into even like in Cold Harbor, which is the end game for the main quest line, and my character will go to what used to be the vet levels, but now he's CP like 315, and then you'll see some guys that are like champion point level like 5 or 10, so that's where you have the advantage, where you have all these 300 points that you've put into all your different skills to help boost up your character. That seems to be the biggest advantage. Plus, you can get some stronger armor and stronger weapons that you actually build up to your own, as opposed to the game just saying, okay, your weapons and armor need to be to this level. So as long as it doesn't drop you down in some of the other areas, I think it should be okay.
Well, aren't the quests still somewhat level locked? I mean, there's a point to leveling. I mean, this kind of system works quite well in MMOs like World of Warcraft. I mean, that's how WoW works, and to a certain extent, Guild Wars too as well. I mean, the whole world is accessible to you. That doesn't mean necessarily that you can take certain quests on at level 2.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Sean, for instance, my oldest, is really excited about this because he feels like it's going to bring him back into ESO. I mean, he's a long time WoW player and Guild Wars 2 player, and he's looking forward to it. So I guess I mean I guess it has its advantages.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they're trying to do is make it Skyrim with friends, which is what a lot of the people that have actually purchased the game wanted it to be. So
Yeah.
I mean, so you can actually just go anywhere with your friends. But I mean, I honestly I didn't have an issue going back down to lower levels with a high level character, except for the fact that I mean I was one-shotting a lot of stuff, but it's not that big of a deal for me.
Yeah. Well, it looks like
Yeah, but if it's going to be like one world where you can go anywhere, so I can go 1 week. I'm in the Daggerfall Covenant doing the Daggerfall Covenant quests, and then sort of like Jeremy pops on, but he's in his Aldmeri Dominion character, so I can just jump on a boat or jump to a way shrine, travel to the Aldmeri Dominion, and then quest with him while I'm working with the Aldmeri Dominion. That doesn't seem. I don't know what they're saying by this one Tamriel thing.
Yeah, that does seem kind of sketchy because right now you go into these other areas as basically there's a character, his name is Cadwell, and he sits there and he says, well, you know, nobody's gonna know that you are a Ebonheart Pact, that you are Daggerfall Covenant, and you're gonna play as if you're gonna go through the adventure as if you were part of that um, faction. And so what that does is it kind of gives you a little bit more immersion because it's like, okay, I'm actually Daggerfall Covenant, but I'm playing the Ebonheart Pact storyline, you know?
I think it need a little bit of an explanation there. Basically, what is that if you start off in the Ebonheart Pact, which is the Skyrim base, which starts you off in Morrowind, you start off as a lowly soldier that you got freed from Cold Harbor, they fish you out of the water, and then you play all the way through the Ebonheart Pact. And once you go through all of that quest, which is in the Ebonheart Pact, which starts off at Deshaun and then Shadowfen, and then all the way up to Eastmarch, then Riften. Then once you finish Riften, then you go to Cold Harbor, and then you fight the big fight, the end quest, and then you do the main quest. And once you finish that, then the game gives you the option to say, right, you've done all of that quest, and you're now level sort of like 50 or Veteran 1 or Veteran 2. And now, if you want, you got the option of where we can magically send you into an alternate dimension where you can live through the same things that were happening, but now it's in the Aldmeri Dominion. So you play through the Aldmeri Dominion, or the Covenant as they do it, because it goes the Pact, the Covenant, and then the Aldmeri Dominion.
So sorry, just a quick little aside because I'm just not very versed in the game. How do the big new sort of guild DLCs or whatever you want to call them apply to those pacts like the Thieves Guild or the Dark Brotherhood? Are those sort of side quests that you can do anytime?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You can go to the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, but they're leveled up to champion point 160. But if you go there below that, what the game automatically brings you up to that level. Okay. So if you're level 5 with no champion points, you'll be in the same instance in the same world as somebody who has 500 champion points.
So do you think that with this one Tamriel thing, they're going to start slowly but surely getting rid of the pacts, the 3 different pacts?
I don't think they are. I think that's going to stay because people would rebel if they got rid of the PvP section because there are those people that.
I don't think they do that. I mean, they would
No,
never
they're
get rid of PvP,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
but I mean, you would have if you eliminate the factions, then you would eliminate PvP
Well, it's a
because
different. You'd have a different kind of PvP.
yeah, and there are those people that just that's all they do is go and do PvP, and they get upset even if like some of the special uh, PvP like armor sets and stuff are offered for sale. They're the ones that sit there and just they rant and get really upset, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
So it seems like that's really going to completely change things for people when that hits, though.
Just I'm taking the wait and see.
Yeah, see how it plays out.
Because I'm hoping they have a plan that works, that doesn't break the game or immersion somehow. I mean, it'd be nice to sit there and, I mean, the idea of sitting there saying, oh, I have this Aldmeri Dominion character, and my friend wants to do this over here, and because he has a Ebonheart pack character. So now we have similar level characters. We can go. I can take my character over to that area. So that part will be nice. It's just the I think for me the biggest issue that I have is the fact that anybody can travel anywhere. There are certain groups of people or guilds that hang out in a lot of the main cities and just hang out, which creates a lot of lag in a lot of the main cities. So I don't know if I think the main thing is either fix the servers, make bigger servers, or if they're going to be able to just combine all the servers, or something so that it kind of works more seamless. Maybe that would be a definitely a good thing. But I know some people have actually crashed the servers intentionally by just getting a whole bunch of people and just dropping their ultimates all at the same time. I think I've heard of something like that, or just if you have way too much stuff going on at once, it just can't handle it, and it would crash it. And I think that happened a lot in the beginning. So, but I mean, honestly, that part right there is such a small percentage of the frustration. Because besides any those little issues like that, I mean, there's a whole just land mass for you to explore and find new things. And sometimes I just go around and just do some farming for crafting material, and that's fun. And the nice thing about some of the areas is like Rothgar and the Gold Coast, and what is it, Hughesbane for that's for some of the new DLCs is if your character is like level 30 something and your crafting is like really low, it'll actually give you crafting material for your level. And I think with the one Tamriel, it's going to be like a 50-50 split where it will give you crafting material for your crafting level, and then the other half is for crafting for your character's level.
Cool.
Also, hopefully they have a balance for it then. That'll be good.
Yeah, one can only hope.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fun achievements. Like there's achievements for fishing. If you catch specific, there's like these special like colored fish for each area, and if you catch all of them, they give you an achievement. Or if you defeat all the little mini bosses for each area, you get an achievement. A lot of time those are fun, especially because usually those are a lot tougher than any other creature in there. And I've gotten to the point where I've died like 2-3 times just trying to figure out how to beat that little mini boss. And then if you go into like areas like Rothgar and Hughesbane and the Gold Coast, those are even bigger bosses where you kind of sit around waiting for a whole bunch of people to show up, and then you guys take them on all at the same time. And even then, you die quite a bit.
Sort of like the world bosses in Guild Wars 2 or something. Yeah,
That's probably pretty close. Yeah.
Oh well,
Huh.
someday.
Yeah.
When and if I get my Xbox S.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Maybe it'll have a Skyrim bundle.
Yeah.
The Project Scorpio.
No, I'm not. I have no interest in Scorpio. I've got a beastly PC. Why would I buy and it'll be even beastlier by the time that thing comes out. So
Yeah, that's like a whole another year away. Those other consoles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're talking next year, maybe January, early in the year, maybe even mid-year. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
and it's hard to say what it's going to be like. I mean, 4K, okay, big whoop. That's fine, but I don't have a huge amount of interest in that, and I don't know. I think the market isn't for people who are already largely PC gamers. I think the market is for console players who don't necessarily want to invest in a big PC.
Yeah,
have a more powerful system, and since Microsoft is trying to slowly but surely integrate both worlds, I think for some people it could be a great machine. No, I'm more interested in the S. I like that smaller, slimmer model and stuff. But I don't want the new ones. Like I was saying on the other podcast, I'm going to wait until the 500 gig model comes out.
Yeah, and I think from what I heard, Microsoft is going to start releasing games where it says PC and Xbox, so it can actually be played on both.
That's pretty awesome.
Using the same disc.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah. Although it's not that great for Steam.
No. Yeah.
So,
it seems like
Steam has a giant bullseye on its back, of course.
Yeah, it does seem like they're trying to cut them out at every turn.
Well, of course, because they want those marketing dollars. Ubisoft did it, although they still sell their games through Steam. You still have to, go through these stupid third-party EULAs and stuff. And EA's done it. I think EA doesn't sell any of their games on Steam anymore, right?
Yeah, well, Bethesda's trying to do it by getting all the mods onto their
even that
site.
Yeah. Even the modding they're moving away from.
Yeah, well, Steam, the Steam Workshop, yeah, it's true. I mean, honestly, if between the two, I think I would choose the Bethesda model because it's more closely curated for the particular game, etc. But if I wasn't a Nexus user,
Nexus and Mod Manager.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But before I forget, this is back to Skyrim. Just briefly, I just want to put a shout out for a mod that just popped up on the Nexus, and immediately hit the top of the top 5. I mean, it just went rocketing up, of course, because it is by a mod author that all of us have used, and that's the guy who wrote. Why is it Ordinator?
Okay.
Unai Saezon or whatever however you pronounce his name, but he's just popped up with a new combat mod called Wildcat, which is, I think he's still listing it as beta. I should have had the page loaded here, but it's still sort of in testing. But if it's as good as his mods usually are, it should be pretty amazing. So. I haven't tried it. I downloaded it yesterday. I haven't loaded it up yet because I'm having so much trouble with my actual game for some reason. But I'm looking forward to trying it out. So.
So it's a combat one?
Yeah, it's a combat mod. Yeah.
Oh, because I was listening to the last episode, and I think I was listening to Michael with his playthrough with his thief character. And I was wondering if Ordinator is affecting the damage that you do with your bow, and that's why you're having so much difficulty.
That could be, yeah.
And I was thinking, I had a look on the Steam site to see if I could find you a realistic weapons damage mod, but all the ones on Steam suck balls. So there's no point in downloading any of those. So I couldn't help you.
Which ones are on Steam?
There's one on there. The last time it was updated was 2012.
Yeah.
And there's about 30 comments below it saying, "Dude, I'm one-shotting dragons right out of the sky." What did you do?
Geez, yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple on there saying, "Oh, dude, I'm one-shotting dragons out of the sky. Your mod is awesome." And then there was other ones where, "Dude, I'm one-shotting dragons out of the sky. You know, this is too OP."
Yeah, that's not good.
Please change it. So
It'd be nice if you could have like a little slider bar or something, so you could actually increase or decrease the amount of damage that it does.
Well, you do in some of these mods, if they have an MCM menu, a mod configuration menu, then yes, you can do that. I'm not sure. I think Duel does, DUEL, and
yeah, with Michael's on the Steam Workshop soon.
Yeah, I got to switch that over. Okay. Yeah, I got to switch over from there. It's just laziness on my part is what it is.
Well, when you're ready, we can help set you up with Mod Organizer if you want to go that route.
Yeah, I think that's the best route to get. I mean, I had stayed on there because I had set up my roundtable character on there originally, the last one, the Necromancer.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? When I reloaded it, I should have switched over then and didn't. Because I just wanted to get in and play real quick. What's that?
I said Mod Organizer is awesome. It's definitely the way to go.
Yeah. Somebody asked about the difference between Mod Organizer and Nexus Mod Manager. I think it was in reference to Fallout. I forget, was it Dennis maybe or somebody? But yeah, I mean they're both good They're both good managers. It's just that Mod Organizer gives you a heck of a lot more power to really curate your mod list well.
Oh, okay.
So Nexus Mod Manager tries to be all things, and I think it does reasonably well, but it makes some things invisible that shouldn't be, like overwrites and things like that. It's difficult to really know, because it gives you this list when you load a new mod and it sees that mod is going to overwrite assets from a mod that's already loaded. It will give you this long sort of thing that's yes to all, yes to mod, no to mod, no to all. It's like, I don't know which one to choose, whereas Mod Organizer, when you load them into the left pane, it gives you a graphical representation in little plus and minus signs of exactly what's overwriting what, and you just pop it up and say, okay, these are the conflicts. This one's overwriting that one, and then you can just move them around until you get the right one overwriting the one that you want. It's much more granular, but it looks daunting at first, but it becomes a lot easier in the end. So
that makes sense.
Sorry.
Well, no, because I assume we're going to have a lot more people getting into modding for the first time as people either start to revisit the game or pick it up for.
You kind of cut out there.
Am I getting digitized again?
Yeah. What was that?
So I assume we're going to have more people getting into modding soon anyway because of the re-release and.
Yes.
People picking it up ahead of time who didn't have it, so they can get the free upgrade if they're on PC.
Yeah.
And people just playing it for the first time in general. So it's probably good to go over all that stuff again eventually anyway.
Yeah, and I would say to anybody, we should probably mention this to anybody, especially since the Steam sale is going on right now. If you're the one or two people left in the world who haven't played Skyrim yet and are listening to this podcast.
Yeah, the odds of that. Let's see.
Those two things. But buy the Legendary Edition now on Steam when it's on sale for $9.99 or whatever it is, and then you're going to get the new remaster free. Don't wait to buy the remaster later.
Right. And while we're talking about mods, I'm actually thinking about creating a document on Google to kind of put a list of mods together just in anticipation of what mods do you suggest for Skyrim?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
But not for the remaster because we have no idea which ones.
Yeah,
will be
that's the
available.
thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait.
I think they said that they should port over no problem.
No, that's not
No.
true.
Yeah, that's
That's
gone
not-
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's simply not going to happen that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, according to Bethesda, but according to the modders, it's
Okay.
not going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. According to
you
the
can,
people,
you can be fairly sure, I think, that anything that ends up on Bethesda.net is
will
going
work.
to
Yeah.
Yes,
work.
that'll be perfectly fine.
Right.
Anything on Bethesda.net, will be, well, 99% sure that'll work first time. Anything on the Nexus, you might have an issue with, especially if it has an MCM and it requires a script extender.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it'd still be a good idea to have a nice list
Absolutely.
typed up,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so people can sit there and go, oh, this one isn't on there, but and just kind of, and I'm thinking about just making a bunch of different tabs. One is like for character creation,
yeah.
crafting, and just kind of, and just have them in order, just so that people can sit there and go, oh, I want something for crafting. So they'll go to the crafting tab and say, oh, okay, these are good for crafting or whatever, you know.
These mods are approved by the ASA podcasting staff.
There you go. Or not.
Or not, yeah.
We make no guarantees.
Your
Victor
mileage may
loves
vary.
weapon and armor fixes we made it, but Colin hates it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
why do you hate that?
There's 3 different add-ons, and it was very annoying. You had to change settings and ini files and things like that, and it was
Yeah.
irritating.
Yeah, it can be a pain in the arse.
Yes.
And if it has anything to do with dragons, Colin loves it.
Yeah. Anything to make more versions of dragons and more deadly versions of dragons that will murder you in seconds with some kind of magical breath.
It will one-shot you instead of being one-shot by your arrows.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't even think of that. That Ordinator would have been affecting my archery last time, but that does make a lot of sense that it could possibly be that way, because it seemed weak even for, because I'm level, I don't know, whatever I am, like 13, something like that, and I've put something into archery, so it should be powerful enough to kill basic bandits.
So you're having a problem with weak archery, not...
Yeah. But I'm okay with it being a little weak, because it's making. I'm also playing on Master or Legendary, so that could also be the issue.
Oh, that would definitely affect it quite a bit.
So I'm enjoying playing it that way anyway, because I'm trying to play this character pretty slow anyway. So, it's kind of working for that. It's a little tedious at times when you forget to save and then have to go back and kill the same people again that took you a half hour to kill. But you know. These things happen.
Yes, they do.
It is life.
Especially if you forget to save.
Yeah. Forgetting to save is like the worst thing ever. And then when you realize it, it's like, it's deflating.
Yeah. Usually I get to the point where it's like, oh, here comes this this castle, or here is this bridge, or here's this. I better save before, just in case there's a bandit there or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
And then a bear sneaks up behind you before you reach any of that, and all that goes out the window.
Yeah, or a saber cat, maybe. Yeah.
Saber cats are the worst because
They're-
hit you hard. They hit you more times than the bear does.
And they're very fast.
Well, if you all will permit me to just whine for a minute here, I've been having all kinds of problems, and I really...
Oh, really?
Well, and I don't really know from what they stem, and I'm beginning to wonder if it's something on my new beastly desktop or something. I don't know. So when I migrated over, I had a game that I was playing for a while, but it was kind of crash prone, and so I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to the beginning. I revalidated everything, re-downloaded everything, and started over new using one of the step guides. I don't know if anybody's familiar with STEP, but it's a great modding resource for you just search up Skyrim step and you'll find it. But anyway, and so I followed that fairly to the letter and continue to have these random crashes to desktop. I mean, not locking up the game, just simply the game just goes away, which is sort of a classic modding crash. And I have reloaded and changed load orders, and even with simple load orders with just basic graphic mods, I'm still getting these random crashes, and I cannot figure out what the heck is going on. It's nothing to do with the mods. I don't think it's something in the system somewhere. And most of them happen when I go from exterior to interior cells into a building. But occasionally they just happen. Like the other day, I was running from Windhelm north towards Kynesgrove or Carthwaite. It's Kynesgrove right there along the river, and at one spot, crash. And I went back and I reloaded. I changed things. It's the same spot. Crash. So I gave up and went to bed. And I came back the next day, no crash. I was like, what? I didn't do anything. Like, it's really, really annoying.
I often wonder if there's like a mod that kind of you can pull it up and it'll tell you maybe possible reasons for it crashing, almost kind of like running a debugger but backwards.
Well, there are mods. Oh yeah, there's a few like that, and you can also turn on your logging in. I mean, the game itself keeps a log if you tell it to, the papyrus log, but those logs are hard to read, and yes, and there is actually a function built into a program called TES5 Edit, which is a log analyzer, but it's not always perfect, and it doesn't always analyze the right things or even tell you anything that you need to know. And if it's if it's a completely random crash, it won't be able to tell you why.
Okay.
And so these aren't memory issues. I've gone through with the Skyrim Performance Monitor and checked my memory levels, and they're actually low. I mean, even with all kinds of graphics upgrades, 2K, 4K textures, I'm still not even using half of my VRAM, and so it's not that. And I don't know. Anyway, I was just whining. I don't know what it is, but if anybody listening to this happens to be an expert modder and recognizes that symptom, please tell me what's going on, because I want to play Skyrim.
Oh man, maybe Dave's come across it because I know he gets pretty heavy into modding as well.
Yeah, it's really random. It's funny because I'm using some of the very similar load orders to what I ran on my laptop, which ran stable, solid. I mean, all the same mods. I'm not using weird mods that haven't been updated since 2012. I'm careful. I kind of know what I'm doing. I know about load orders. I know about bashed patches and all the other stuff, but just this one's eluding me. I can't really figure out what's going on. So
I wonder if it's kind of like the issue that Colin was having with ESO, where it did an update to the video card and kind of messed up the game a bit.
it's possible. I mean, it is that is the one major change between my laptop and my desktop is the video card.
Yeah.
I kind of don't think it is, but it might be. I mean, there may very well be something between that and a mod or two that disagree. It's a 970. It's not a 980, but it's still a 4 gig card. It's pretty powerful card. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the 4 gig, right?
Yeah, it's a 4 gig. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I am coveting and will probably purchase a 1080 sometime in the next couple of months. Wait till the drivers.
Did you see the Asus? Asus has one. I think it's a 10.
Asus has one. They have an MSI has one. Who else has one? Gigabyte, I think. And then there's the reference one from NVIDIA itself. Yeah. I'm not sure which one gets the best reviews. If there's a tweak here and a tweak there, I would trust Asus. That's basically all my laptop and my desktop are both Asus.
Right. Yeah, I received an email today that said that theirs is actually like half the price of the other ones.
Really? I
Yeah,
wonder why.
I
I mean,
don't know.
they're 8 gig cards. I mean, at least the higher end models are, 8 gigs of VRAM. I mean,
Right.
that's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
want that.
and that's what it is. It is the 8 gig, and it has it's well. I'm just going off of what they were saying, which they say it has a cooling system so that it'll actually so you can overclock it and everything else to perform even higher, and it should still be completely stable.
Huh.
And that's their claim. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, and by the way, to anybody who was listening to my little whine there, I'm not overclocking anything, so yeah, it's not that either. Yeah, and of course, Asus gives you that app. What's it called? It's a thing here that I'm trying to make pop up its little menu, but I can't. It's the Matrix Admin Controller, the Asus Matrix, which allows you to sort of overclock on the fly, as well as giving. So yeah, maybe I'll look at that one.
I'm backtracking just a little bit. I love the last episode with Dave's update.
Yes.
With Mike Beta getting his dragon fighting on, and then he had a very special guest star. It was awesome. I loved it. Thank you very much, Dave. I really, really enjoyed that. And you're right. All the rest of these fuckers, fuck them. You're right. She deserves a lot more respect.
That's right. Yep, she got her own backstory.
Yeah.
And actually, I have an update, but I'm going to save it for next week because I'm going to be away for the weekend. So I'm going to be that'll be popping next week, and probably me finishing getting my ass kicked in following Gullum E or Gullum I or however the hell you say his name, because I can't remember how you say his damn name, even though Mercer Frey says it at some point.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I think it's I.
I think it's I also. Yeah.
I think it's I.
Yeah, because he tells you his fake name that he goes by,
Like
and then
I
gives
said,
you
with
his
his accent, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, and also sometimes I don't listen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess we've gone through it so many times. You kind of just go click, 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 click.
But I always have the
dialogue.
subtitles on too. So a lot of times I'm just reading through it as opposed to, I have tried to listen more this time though, since, because you get in that habit where you're clicking through, and you're like, man, is there something that I'm missing that I don't remember?
Yeah. I just recently turned my subtitles off. That's I'm kind of enjoying it without them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the only reason I leave them on is if I'm doing something else at the same time, and then I at least have those to see what's going on, basically.
Yeah, I've kind of gone through that a little bit with ESO because I've played the game so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just kind of trying to level up characters, and like click, 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 and then I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't want to make that decision. And when decisions are in red, they're final.
Oh jeez.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, because there's no saving in an MMO and go back.
Yeah, really.
The only thing you can do is you can abandon the quest and restart the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen.
With quests in ESO, if you choose a red option, you gotta go and you gotta stick with that, and that permanently changes the world. And it can permanently change the world to this entire area is either friendly to you or aggressive to you. So they have real big decision making. So you'll be better off paying attention with those if you start playing ESO.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of feedback, I actually do have 2 emails, and one pertains to everybody, all of us, plus Andrew, who's not here. So this is from Mike from Classic Elder Scrolls Off the Record.
Oh.
So Michael, Andrew, Colin, Victor, Juan, congratulations on the upcoming 100th episode. Let's see. The creative means of... I have it on my phone in a really small font because and you know,
And you need your reading glasses.
yeah. So, like, spoiler alert behind the scenes. Normally, when I read Dave's stuff, I put it up on the monitor and blow it up really big. I didn't do this. I didn't do that right now. So this is a much smaller font. So the creative means of play that you guys bring to Skyrim has kept the game fresh and interesting for years. The weekly podcast invokes a sense of nostalgia, which keeps bringing many members of the community back to playing Skyrim and discovering things they never knew about the game. I first came to the show while looking for more info on Skyrim. The short journal-style show was a nice addition to my gameplay and allowed me to experience more aspects of the game that I might have glossed over. The show really took off for me with the introduction of the roundtable shows, Andrew, a longer debate-style show looking at particular aspects of the game, which drew me in. Over the years, I have really grown to appreciate your focused approach to Skyrim gameplay, and you continue to deliver great content to my iPod. There's a meme circulating with Boromir from Lord of the Rings, which states one does not simply finish Skyrim, and the perspectives and challenges your team expounds to the listener community exemplifies that statement. With the upcoming release of Skyrim Enhanced Edition, I hope that you'll see a swelling in listeners and hope that this is the first 100 in a long, prosperous podcasting career for the team. So best wishes from him, and that's KDR Mickey on the Twitter. And I'm a big listener of the classic Elder Scrolls because he's great with the lore and stuff like that. So it's very appreciative.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that, and I'm ashamed to admit that I stopped a while back. I will definitely go back and start listening to it again.
Yeah, for me, I tend to focus on the classic just because I'm not playing ESO. Whereas if I was an ESO player, I'd probably listen to get other stuff. But for the just some of the lore and stuff that they go through is pretty intensive, which is pretty amazing.
Well, not to be chauvinistic about it or anything, but when I discovered the Skyrim Addict is when I stopped listening to all the other ones and just went sort of forward with that. But I will, yeah, definitely want to go.
Damn you, Victor!
Yeah, no, I mean the classic is really great. I mean they did about 2 or 3 episodes just on the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, they just finished up that series on the Dark Brotherhood. Yeah, from like Oblivion through Skyrim and the ESO, even back to like Daggerfall and all that. So
yeah, because they did do a little bit on the Morag Tong and everything else, which I mean it's really nice to hear all that. I mean, just the fact that all that lore exists in
it's amazing.
What some people just say just a video game, but I mean to us it's not just a video game. I mean it's because it's an organic world that has history, has a future as well. I mean it's just it's just a lot.
Yeah, you don't realize how when you're playing through the game. You don't realize how deep a lot of the lore goes, really.
Right.
Especially if you haven't played like the past titles and all.
Right. And I like how he'll sit there and people say, "Oh, that's not lore friendly," and he'll go, "Oh, yes, it is. It's right here."
Yeah, that's amazing.
Here's this book.
Yeah. And if you're looking to a companion for your Skyrim reading, Skyrim Book Club has your needs.
I actually just started listening to that because
they're so quick. You can.
Oh yeah.
It's great. And he was actually talking about starting something else too, but I won't mention that because that would be a spoiler. So, but no, they're so quick, and like if for anybody out there who does wants to do voiceover or anything like that, you can contact Skyrim Book Club, and they, accept submission, or he accepts submissions and things like that. So. There's other readers other than himself.
Nice.
Yeah. There's female readers. There's a guy with a real good Nord accent.
Yep.
So, yeah, I enjoyed listening to those.
I do have one quick email from Dennis from the Facebook group. He's giving an Oblivion update. So, let's see. I wanted to apologize. Desperately wanted to stream or record some audio feedback to capitalize on all the Oblivion momentum we had last week. Sadly, his wife left for Costa Rica. Well, sadly for him, she's in Costa Rica with her high school students. Well, that puts a damper on it. And the time got the best of me. So he's soloing with twin 2-year-olds at the moment. Oh, God. Good luck. My Zoom is not strong enough to handle toddlers. So he purchased the Elgato HD streaming device to attempt to stream from the 360. And he keeps hearing Victor's voice in his head saying, "You should have just bought a PC." I have done a little playing. It was actually tough finding quests because I didn't remember where I was going. Happily killing Sarathad in Telos Plaza district was just a trick. I got the use of his house, and Dark Brotherhood found me while I slept. After that, the quests started pouring in. Anyone know if there's safe storage in the house? The USP didn't mention it. One of the other quests I found was through a Nightmare Darkly. Is there a quest in Skyrim similar to this? I can't remember. That's all I have for now. Try and update more as soon as possible. And be sure to, give credit to Sherry and Michael Cheney, who are also playing Oblivion in the Facebook group. Yeah, they're posting their Oblivion. I think Sherry's playing on her MacBook or something.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, and for the love of God, Michael, save your game. Yeah, that was to me. So,
not only is she playing on her MacBook, but she's using the trackpad.
Yeah, that's got to be incredibly
cool.
tough. Yeah. Well, Oblivion's tough. Like if you haven't picked it up for a while. They're just so expansive,
yeah,
and it's so the controls are so much different as well. Like the functionality of the controls and things, and the way you use spells. And the one thing I do like about Oblivion is that you can use spells while you have a weapon. Like you just sheath your weapon, and then you can use your spells. You don't have to, put your weapon away, change your spells into your hands and all that. It's just, you sheath your weapon and you have your little hotkeys on the D-pad if you're playing on the 360 that, you hit and you can do your spells. So that was one thing I liked that I wish that would have carried over.
Because you can carry a shield in one hand, sword in the other, and you still cast a spell. So I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, you don't need
that was really nice.
Yeah, you don't need to change out like it's equipment or something. I think all you do is sheath it, right? Is that what it is? Something like that. But,
I know with the healing spells you don't have to sheath.
Yeah, you might not even have to sheath. Yeah, you might be right.
I think it's just the top bumper on the Xbox controller.
Yeah. I think if you're playing on the 360, it's a top bumper.
I was on the PC, so I might
Excuse us.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And you know what? The load screens are not long in Oblivion.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So if you're playing on console, it's a great way to get into Elder Scrolls because guess what? The load screens aren't long, but everybody looks really funky. So
I just got kicked out of Rothgar about 9 times. And I was on in Orsinium inside the main city.
Oh, that's the worst place. That is the worst
I got
place.
kicked about 9 times. I had to, every time I got back in, I jumped on the horse and had to try and sprint over the city, and I'd get halfway out, and then I would crash again. And then I'd have to go all the way back in because it kicks you all the way back to the Xbox main screen. It doesn't kick you back to like the game screen. It goes all the way back to the Xbox screen where you have to restart the game back up from scratch, go to the characters selection, get your selected character, load your character, and that happened about at least 9 times today.
Oh my God.
So that was a pain in the ass. So I would recommend ESO on the PC.
Oh really? So you're saying I should not buy the Xbox S and Xbox One S just to play ESO.
As long as you stay away from Rothgar, because I was checking up on it to, to put a complaint in to say, guys, can you fix Rothgar? And apparently everybody on the Xbox complained to Bethesda, going, or ZeniMax said, oh, hey, Orsinium, the main city, it's like, it's crap because every time we go in there we crash. And they go, oh no, it's not us, it's the Xbox, it's your game load.
Huh.
And everybody said, well, every other place on my entire game works perfectly fine. every other part of Rothgar works perfectly fine. It's
Yeah,
only when
just the
you
main
walk
city.
into Orsinium that everything crashes. So, and it's everybody else. Like, most people are having this issue of where at certain points in time they just continuously get crashes. So how can it be everybody else's fault in only one particular place in the whole game, and then you're saying it's our installed game on our Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying they're not going to do anything about it because there's nothing wrong with it on their end. It's our end on our installed game on our Xbox.
Huh. Interesting.
Maybe we should talk to Keith since he had to completely reinstall his his
Yeah.
ESO.
Oh, did
Because
he?
he had it on the external hard drive,
Oh, okay.
and for some reason the Xbox didn't recognize his external hard drive,
Huh.
Oh.
and it said that he did not have the game installed.
Oh, jeez.
So he uninstalled it, then reinstalled it, and at some point during this whole entire thing, the system finally recognized his hard drive, and yeah.
Wow. That doesn't seem fun.
But he got a full reinstall out of it, so yeah.
Yeah, frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I was playing it on my first Xbox, but I didn't have Rothgar at the time. I only bought it recently because I ended my subscription to the PC version and then started my subscription on the Xbox version because I wanted to play the DLC. I just finished the Daggerfall Covenant. I wanted to get into Rothgar and do the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. I haven't started those two yet, but I've just started Rothgar. But I can't complete it because most of the quest is in the main city. So
Yeah. Yeah, and the Gold Coast looks amazing. I mean, if you liked Oblivion, the Gold Coast on the
it looked amazing on the PC.
oh, it looks awesome. And Minotaurs are back, so yay!
Oh, Minotaurs are back. Nice, nice.
Yes, and they're pretty beastly. So
Yeah, they always were.
yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, I mean, just wandering around. I've actually just found myself just kind of going around, and it's got, how it had the tall grass that you kind of run through in Oblivion.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. I know some people were a little bit upset that they put the castle in there, and they made it like Oblivion as opposed to a little bit before. But I think that's the Oblivion that a lot of people, that's the Gold Coast that a lot of people
Remember, yeah.
recognize and fell in love with. So they kind of made a little bit of a okay, we're going to go ahead and do this so that to make people happy that know Oblivion. But yeah, it looks amazing. The roads, I mean, it feels like I'm running through Oblivion. I'm almost expecting to run into one of the inns that were on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's another thing I miss. From Oblivion, that's not in Sky, the inns and stuff like that you come across just on the roads between places. Didn't seem like there was.
They are in Skyrim, but you kind of have to go off the road to get to
them. Yeah. And there's not as many.
There's mods that add them, but
yes,
it's not the same thing.
Yeah, because I added People of Skyrim, the Ultimate Edition, and that adds a lot of structures around the cities. So it kind of fills in the world a little more, which is nice. I really like that one.
Right.
But yeah, I miss the random inn in the middle of wherever, like a swamp somewhere.
Yeah.
Where it had something going on.
Yeah, but the world is so much bigger in Oblivion. You had space for that.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a lot. And there was a lot of empty space as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, Skyrim does have them, but you almost have to go like on a little road, travel for 10, 15, 20 seconds to get to the actual inn, where in Oblivion you could see it from the side of the road and just kind of go up this little tiny, we'll call it a driveway for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
and you were there,
Yeah, you had the Nightgate Inn, Old Heralden.
Yep.
Places like that.
The place by Kinsgrove or Kinesgrove.
Right.
Essentially that's not really it. That's more of just that inn. There's nothing else really there.
Yeah, and then there's the one in between Winterhold and it was on the way to Winterhold, where in the Civil War you have to meet up with you're trying to find um, the courier for the
That's
yeah
the Nightgate, yeah.
a Nightgate Inn, yeah.
And actually, there's just of course, another mod thing, but one of the mods, and I can't remember exactly which one, because that is officially known as Helyarkin there, which is why
Yep.
the farm on the other side of the woods there is Helyarkin Farm, or there's a mod also, and so there's a mod that actually adds a couple of buildings to that whole little enclave there with the Nightgate Inn in it, and it's just then it makes the map, listed as Helyarkin.
Oh, okay. So it'll actually list it that way.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's also where you meet the gourmet, right?
Oh, yeah, yep. In the basement there.
Yeah.
Well, on the dock, technically.
On the dock, yeah.
The last time I met him, I was pretty powerful at that point. It was the necromancer, and I hit him so hard with whatever I had done that I shot him straight across the lake, and I had to go all the way across the lake and drag him back into the lake.
Oh,
Because I knocked him off the dock, and he flew so far that he went all the way to the other side of the lake.
oh no.
And I was like, oh, well.
Poor gourmet. He didn't deserve it.
And technically, he's not in the lake if he's all the way on the other side. So.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, at least in the lake is a better hiding place than behind one of the giant kegs. If you kill him in the basement.
Oh, is that where you have to hide him in the basement? I've never
Yeah,
killed him in the basement.
Yeah, it's not very obvious either because you kind of just drag him around until you find a spot, and then it says, okay, he's hidden.
I have never killed. I've always waited for him to come outside.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, I've killed him in the basement before just because I didn't feel like waiting around for him.
It's kind of like Hitman, where you had to hide people in the freezers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do that this time because I have never killed him. I didn't even know you could kill him in there. That is, see, look at that. You learn something new every day. I don't know how I missed that fact. I always thought you had to wait for him to go out on the dock and then put him in the water.
Yeah. Now that you can kill him in the basement, and there's a spot to hide his body there. I mean, I guess as long as he's gone for a couple days or something, because I mean the pig children kind of stink for as it is. So.
True enough. Yeah, it's not like yeah.
Yeah, it's I know in ESO, one of the comments I always hear is, "It's not you I smell, is it?" It's funny because they say that to everybody. It doesn't matter what type of character you're playing. It'd be nice if some of the games would give more race specific comments, because I know Skyrim does do that a little bit, because they sit there and they call you cat or whatever,
Yeah, that is true. They do that quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Although they keep saying you smell like a wet dog even after you don't have the werewolf.
Oh, do they still say that even when
I think they do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Just speaking of dialogues, and of course, always thinking about mods. There's a new one to me. It's been around for a while. That I haven't really noticed yet in any of the games because of my woes, but it's called Dynamic Follower Dialogue. And it was suggested in one of the step guides I read through. It adds like 1,500 dialogue lines, and a lot of them are like researched from either lore or inside the actual, under the hood of the game. The author went in and recreated stuff, and they're all, as far as I know, all of them are voiced, but they're voiced using the same technique that the guy who does interesting NPC uses, where he pieces together bits of already pre-voiced dialogue to sound different, which is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, it's something for people to look up. It's called, like I said, it's called Dynamic Follower Dialogue. And if it's in a step guide, that's a generally good indication that it's a good, stable mod. So it's fairly trustworthy.
Huh.
So something to think about.
Oh, cool.
So.
Yeah, it's always nice to add the dialogue and stuff like that to the game, because it can get, you play so much, it can get tedious.
Yeah.
Listening to people. Oh, somebody was asking about playing. It was a couple weeks ago about playing False Scar, and I was like, "Warning, you're gonna have some long conversations."
That's right.
So you have some really long conversations.
Don't play it at nap time.
No.
I remember. I think, is that the one where it was a really long dialogue at the end?
Yes.
And you kept dying, so you kept having to go.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a long finish. That final battle was pretty long and relatively difficult. And I died or something and had to go all the way back to before the run up of that battle. And I'm like, oh no. And of course I didn't save and all that. Yeah. That always happens, but.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's really the biggest flaw with False Scar. Other than that, it's a nice add-on, I would think. Yeah, fun to play in general.
Yeah, I agree. That and the typos drive me crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's just the legacy of a classical education. I don't know. It just really irritates me. But there's a mod for that too.
For fixing typos.
Typos and grammatical errors. That's the thing that always sort of bothered me about that, was that for a mod that was ostensibly created as basically a job application, which is the sort of the lore background of
of that one.
Mickey did with that mod, that he would not clean up that very fundamental part of it. But
yeah, because other ones that were, I think, pretty close to as expansive, like Worm's Tooth, did not have the dialogue issues, I gotta say.
No, not at all. It's pretty well done, and much better voice acting overall, I think, too.
Yeah, definitely. I think the quality of voice acting was better as well.
Yeah. So
maybe we'll see that return with the consoles. Who knows? Never know.
Yeah, that's. I'm holding on to it. I've got it, saved off in a very, safe part of one hard drive and off on another one, and also backed up to the cloud because it's gone. So I don't.
Yeah, it's gone. So yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was something I screwed up on. That was definitely something I accidentally, when I reloaded everything, I forgot. I actually just totally forgot and ended up deleting it.
Ouch.
And I was like, oh man. When I reloaded everything back up, I realized what I had done, and I was like, oh crap. Oh well. It is life. There's other mods out there.
Yes.
I tried to get back into Skyrim. There's only so much of one game, so much you can play one game constantly. Like I was constantly playing ESO. And in the end, it just I needed something to break up the monotony, so I jumped back into Skyrim, but that didn't last for too long. I went back to my the Requiem playthrough.
Oh yeah.
But I had a little quest that I needed to go and get one of the the bolt schematics from Bleak Rock. Over in not Blake Rock, Raven Rock, from Bloodskull Barrow.
Yeah.
So I went in there, and as I said, the mod hasn't altered that. He hasn't done the mod, so it was pretty quick, easy run through, and And then somewhere along the lines, I wasn't paying attention at all, and then I died, I think, to a trap or something.
Oh no.
And I was like, and then I just turned it off.
Yeah.
I loaded back at the entrance of the mine, and I was like, and I just turned it off.
Yeah.
I stuck on, Fallout New Vegas, and picked that up where I had left off. I think I was around about the Novak area, I think.
Okay.
Novak. And just picked up Boone as a follower.
Oh, yeah.
And then I played that for all night, for a good 5 or 6 hours. And I was playing mostly with the mods, because there's a few really good quest mods that I've got loaded into that, and I was playing quite a few of those. And then when I woke up the next morning, I immediately stuck ESO back on and continued to play that.
The tyranny of the new.
Fallout New Vegas is backwards compatible now on the Xbox One.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that whole program is definitely gonna, I will be getting an Xbox One eventually. It's not like I won't be getting one, but I mean that alone is worth the.
Yeah, having the backwards compatibility is very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, just with Fallout alone, you have Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
You're going to have Skyrim, ESO. Hopefully they do Oblivion. I know Morrowind is original Xbox, so probably not, but still it'd be nice to see that. And there's a lot of games. I think all the Guild Wars. No, what's the 3-part series by
Mass Effect?
Mass Effect. All those are backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of fun games that are backwards compatible now.
Yeah, and I have all those for the 360, so that's
yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to see some more stuff. Like Oblivion would be great to see backwards compatible. I mean, it won't look good, but
yeah. Still have potato face.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still look like Oblivion, but it would be cool to be able to play again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I have over 800 hours on Oblivion, and that was because I never finished Shivering Isles, and I went into the first Dragon Age and played that for a while, but Oblivion was my first game on the 360, and I loved it. So, yeah. That was my entry back into gaming.
Oh, yeah.
After a long hiatus.
Yeah, that was kind of my re-entry into that style gaming. I mean, I was still playing, but I was playing different kind of stuff. I hadn't really played the RPG stuff since, like, the Quest for Glories and all. And, Quest for Glories, King's Quest, that kind of stuff. I'd kind of taken a break and then got back into it. Oblivion really got me back into it. I don't even know how many hours I played of it. Well, in that game, you were walking for so long, too, in between places. You could play for 5 hours and not get anywhere. So, just searching and looking and, finding a cave or whatever.
Yeah, just going down the road, I think it seemed like you found more little things while you're going down the road than you do in Skyrim. I mean, there's either like a little bandit camp, or there was like some hidden the little not orcs, but
those guys, the little
goblins.
That's it.
The goblins going into there. There was, and just I remember the one where the village that was stuck in between two warring goblin clans.
Oh yeah.
So it had a lot of stuff like that, and also I remember the Mundus stones, as well as the Daedric stones, where you could activate one and you would get like a piece of armor or a sword for a short amount of time, that was kind of fun. And there was a little glitch, little cheat that you can do with that one, because if you attacked something or somebody with it and did some damage to it, and then fixed it with your hammer and dropped it, and then once the time ran out, you picked it up again, you had a Daedric weapon or piece of armor that did not weigh a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I don't think I ever did that trick. I did the, drop the stuff trick or whatever, the old glitch where you could make an insane amount of items to sell.
Right. Yeah, that one was the big popular one, but no, the other one was definitely where you just pick up one of the Daedric items and just go attack something, do a little bit of damage, fix it with a hammer, drop it on the floor, and then pick it up.
Yeah, I remember, that little cabin by the Imperial City, by the waterfront there where the Thieves Guild is. There's that one little house that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
I would go in there and and do the whatever. I forget exactly what the trick was where you multiplied the items, but I would go in there and I would then make like 1,000 scrolls and then drop them, and then they would like billow out super. I don't know how the 360 didn't blow up when I did it, but
Yeah.
it was like watching Andrew raise the dead on when he had that army of the dead with the ritual stone or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's funny, especially if you just dropped a single one, and all of a sudden it just kind of grew from that one.
Yeah, it was like this slow, like billowing of items would slowly, and I always did it with scrolls because they weighed like whatever 0.1 or whatever it was, and you could sell them and make money, and it would fill up like the whole cabin, and you're like, oh, there we go.
Yep. Yeah, and I a lot of there. I know there's some people that sat there and they said they didn't like the Alien Ruins, but man, I love.
Oh, I love the Alien Ruins.
Those things were amazing, and every single one of them was different.
Yeah.
That was the most amazing thing because it's like, oh, this one has a special trick to open this door, and it's not the same as the one right next to it or the one like halfway across the world. Each one had its own unique way of opening, as opposed to, oh, here's these little things that you spin and get and just put them in this order that it shows you right here, and you're done.
Yeah, no, it was definitely more complex.
Yeah.
The Alien Ruins. I really liked the Alien Ruins a lot.
Yep.
Are they in they're in ESO, right?
We have some. They're not quite as complicated or as
they were.
Just because it's a little more. A lot of the stuff is more circular.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to Skyrim, where you go in one side, you go all the way around, and you come out on the other side, and you're back where you started.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, because you could get lost in those Alien Ruins.
Yeah, and have a good time being lost.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it was so. Oh man, I like the look of them too. They were very creepy looking, kind of glowing, and you would come across those doors with like the tree symbols on them. And it was a really nice effect. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in Oblivion that they kind of got rid of. That just if you're fighting ghosts and you got to hit them with enchanted or silver weapons.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Because I remember I'd fight the little will-o-wisps, and I'm just like, why am I not damaging this thing? What the heck? And then that was like the first time I went through, and I'm just like, oh my god, and he killed me. So I just kind of avoided that section for a while. One time I actually had a silver sword, and I'm just like, well, I sat there and I'm like, oh, silver. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you had to use it on there was those ghosts on the ship. They were incredibly tough.
Yeah.
At the dock was that Anvil? On the dock of Anvil? Is that where it was? I think it's the Anvil docks.
Yeah, I think a little bit off to the either Anvil or the other one on the east side, southeast.
Yeah.
There's another section there too. And then what were they? why can't I think? The ones that regenerate their health.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that show up when you're doing the Mage's Quest.
Yeah. And I mean, those would sit there and attack you, and their health seemed to regenerate a lot faster than they did in Skyrim.
Yeah, definitely. Things like ghosts were much tougher in Oblivion than they are in Skyrim.
Or skeletons.
Yeah.
Because I would actually go into sneak or hide when I saw skeletons in
Oblivion.
They were
The skeleton champions were incredibly tough.
Yes.
You didn't just blow them apart like like happens and
yeah, with bones just rolling all over the place.
Yeah, flying across. Yeah.
Some of them cast spells as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them did. Yeah, I think that was the champion ones or whatever they were called. Because there was them, there was a ghost, there was something else, whatever they were called. Yeah, there was a bunch of different. There was a more supernatural kind of ghostly type things in Oblivion.
Yep.
Yeah, zombies as well.
The zombies were quick and creepy and
headless.
Why was there headless zombies?
Yeah, lots of There was a lot of headless zombies. I don't know what was going on, but
does not make sense.
there was definitely a lot of them.
Because a Walking Dead person makes a lot of sense, right?
Oh yeah. Well, hey, look,
it's not lore friendly. One zombies need to have brains.
They got yes. They need to be able to walk around somehow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I think that's been a pretty full episode there.
Yeah.
Wow, hour and 20. But thank you guys for hopping on. Next week is going to be some stuff from Dave and me dying again, following Gullumai through the warehouse to his ultimate destination, where I have to listen in on him and eavesdrop. Probably be playing that this weekend, because then I got to drive down south for a few days and then drive north again. So that'll be fun.
The warehouse is the easy part, right?
Yeah, the warehouse, you're just following him. And you just got to sneak and get past some of the guards and stuff. It's that second cave after you follow him and go down underneath when he kind of backtracks and goes back. That's when it's hard to get past those guys unless you kill them. Which I don't like. I'd like to be able to just get past them, but I don't think I'm high enough level sneak right now, or something like that. So they kind of see me when I go past that first section.
Did you try going through the side cave with the spiders?
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, I think there's.
But I didn't get past the first two guys. I had trouble getting past.
Those first two, right?
Because one's facing one direction, one's facing the other direction.
Yeah, they don't make it easy to sneak by. They make it almost to the point where you do have to fight them. Yeah,
and they don't move either. They stay in that position. Yeah. So. And it's well lit, so you're not just sneaking in the shadows or anything. So
yeah, because I think I've tried swimming before, or a lot of times I remove the torches as well.
Oh, that's good. You know what? Maybe I'll take some of the torches down on my way and see if that helps. I'll figure out something. But I guess that's it for this one. I got the closing music here. If you like, join the Facebook groups. It's facebook.com/groups/a Skyrim Addict podcast, or you search for Skyrim Addict podcast and the Fallout feed. I think it'll come up then. And I think that's all I can think of. Stay tuned for anything episode 100 related. We haven't really figured out anything yet, so we'll figure that out. And then we'll need to figure out... what's that thing called? Jeremy was just asking me about it. The charity podcast in the fall sometime. So, I was thinking that this was something I threw out then was try and line it up with the Skyrim re-release that weekend. Kind of like how we did it.
Right?
Yeah. So we'll see how that. We'll bandy about some dates, but that's kind of a tentative thing right now. So keep that in mind, and we'll be back next time, or another time, or in a couple weeks. Later, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Happy Skyrim.
Happy Skyrim. Thanks for listening to this episode of Skyrim Addict. You can find all of our contact information, YouTube channel information, as well as other shows over at asapodcasting.com, including our newest show, The Fallout Feed. Special thanks to Claire Lafar for the show's artwork. You can find her stuff at etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MayaFirePrints. And a thank you to Dan Bull for the use of his music in the Roundtable Open and Close. You can find him on YouTube or iTunes. Just search Dan Bull. Once again, thanks for listening, and later, everyone.